Right. Very good morning, all. Okay. So far we have learned few topics with regard to clauses part. Right. In these days we have learned some topics with regard to clauses analysis, clause analysis. So what is clause? Even we have discussed what is a clause, as well as what is a clause is combination of the next under the clauses, types of clauses, dependent and independent clauses. When it comes to dependent clauses are three types we have learned. Out of those three types, the first type of clause already we have discussed, which is nothing but noun clause, right? And the second one today we would like to know, and not only that, I would like to teach you the second type of subordinate clauses, or in simple way we can say, adjective clauses, right? We can say adjective clauses also, right? Good morning, everybody. Right, very nice. Okay, right. How many of you have been eagerly waiting for class? Because last day, the other day also, I did not conduct any classes. Actually I thought of conducting on Sunday, but as I scheduled on Sunday, it's not possible for me. So that is why I did not take any live session that day, right? Very nice of you all. Right, very good. Okay, right. How many of you know the class? Tell me, what is a class? What is a class? So here class is nothing but the combination of subject and verb part. The verb part we may also say like a predicate. So subject and predicate combination we call as a class, right? Very good. And next, when it comes to types of clauses, okay, and when it comes to types of clauses, okay, right? When it comes to types of clauses, we have learned there are three types of clauses, right? Out of those three, the first one is, can anybody say what is the first class? Yes, yeah, very good. First type of class is dependent or independent. Independent class. Independent class. Along with independent class, so dependent class also we have discussed, right? Dependent clauses, even we have discussed about the dependent clauses too. And the dependent clauses are three types. Out of them, the first one is noun class, right? Very good. How many of you have understood regarding noun class, and how many of you learned new things with regard to noun class, right? I don't know you people have learned or not, but I have learned, right? So like this, yes, very good. Yeah, Bhargav, how are you, Bhargav? Yes, very nice. Okay, just make them your friends join. Just you have to by sharing, just make your friends join this class. So if you people, that's what, see, as you are learning, if you encourage some people learning, it would be helpful for them too, right? So that is why I'm telling you to share someone else, right? Very good afternoon, good morning, everybody. Very good. Okay, right. Okay, let's get started into the class. Right. In our previous parts, just we have discussed what is a noun class, right? So noun class is very important one. Already we learned. Because see, the noun class plays a vital role. Instead of using a subject or an object, in the place of either subject or object, directly we can use a clause. So by using clause, the sentence, the sentence length might be somewhat extended. Here we should not use the clauses to make the sentence length extend actually, but just to show our proficiency in English language. That is what, see, that if you write comparing with other people better, then you will be appreciated, right? So that is what, to get such kind of appreciation, it's not appreciation, we should not work for the completely for the sake of appreciation. Just we have to work out, right? We have to work out even to elevate ourselves, right? The simple way, suppose if you think about your dressing sense when you were in class 6, your dressing sense would be different. When you were in class 10, your dress sense is different. Now if you think your dress sense, it's going to be somewhat different now, isn't it? So as there is a difference, so now we need to make the same difference in terms of studies too. Even in terms of learning things, we have to maintain such kind of differentiation. So to maintain such kind of differentiation, these things are important, right? So right, so I hope you understood noun class. So that's so two. How many of you know adjective? So nobody is telling that, right? So don't you know what is an adjective, right? We generally say adjective is nothing but it's a word which describes either noun or pronoun. A word which describes either it's noun or pronoun, we call it as a adjective, right? And when we use a class to describe someone, or when we use a class which functions, which functions as an adjective, then we may say that class as an adjective class, right? Very good. So by using adjective clauses, right, see, by using adjective clauses, even we came across a different clause, embodied class. So it would be somewhat different to you. But it's not difficult actually, different one. Suppose if you take example, she is a girl, but in the same sentence, she after, if I use she, who looks very charm, who looks very beautiful, is a girl. Just I have added in the middle of the sentence, she is a girl. I have splitted the sentence as a subject and predicate. After the subject, I have added a class. So therefore it became, the clause which I joined in the middle of the sentence, such kind of clause we call it as a embodied clause, right? Did you understand this? What is embodied? So embodied ఒక సెంటెన్స్లో ఆ సెంటెన్స్లో ఉన్నటువంటి సబ్జెక్ట్ని ప్రెడికేట్ని డివైడ్ చేసి ఆ సెంటెన్స్లో ఉన్నటువంటి సబ్జెక్ట్ తర్వాత ఆ సెంటెన్స్కి సంబంధించిన ఎడిషనల్ ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ని మనం ఒక క్లాజ్గా యూజ్ చేసి ఆ క్లాజ్ అదే సెంటెన్స్లో ఆ సెంటెన్స్ స్పిల్టప్ చేసి మనం యాడ్ చేస్తే దాన్ని embodied clause అంటారు. embodied clause. Now have you all understood what is embodied clause? Say yes sir. It fast. Okay, right, keep yes as a comment. So embodied class, regarding embodied class, I asked you to just whether have you that, just make it, please let me know that by your comment. Yes, good, very good. So tell me Rakesh, what is embodied class? Embodied class. Embodied class means nothing but a class which has been joined in the middle of a subject and predicate. In the middle of a sentence, subject and predicate. Have you understood? Right, embodied class. Very good. Okay, right, see, I'll tell you one example. then you will understand very well. Okay, right. So you can say that. See, Mr. Behara, who doesn't know English, teaches English. Mr. Behara, who doesn't know English, teaches English. Right, very good. Yes, okay. Mr. Behara. Yes, the words which I'm speaking with you, right? So here first don't pay the attention at the example on the screen. Just make it comment. Mr. Behara, who doesn't know English, teaches English. Just comment. Okay. Make a right. Just Mr. Behara, who doesn't know English, who doesn't know English, teaches English. Yes, yes, okay, right. See there, we can see there is an example. Mr. Behara, who doesn't know English, teaches English, right? So in this sentence, see there, Mr. Behara, English there. Actually, yes, if you go through the Arfa's example, Arfa's in the Arfa teaches English. Just we have to skip the sentence who doesn't know English. Now the what is the sentence will be? Now the sentence is Mr. Behara teaches English. Okay, right, very good. Not talking. Right here in this sentence, Mr. Behara teaches English. That's a sentence. It's a main class. In that sentence, Mr. Behara is a subject. Teaches English is a predicate. But here doesn't know English. So it's an embedded class. So before the embedded class, the subject that we have, that is called as antecedent. Did you understand, everybody, what is an antecedent? So antecedent means embedded class before the antecedent, right? Have you understood what is an antecedent? Say yes, sir. Okay, if you know what is an antecedent, just please put comment as yes. Okay, right, we'll go through, right? Okay, let us look at the screen. Now let us look at the screen. See the adjective class. So adjective class is one of the subordinate classes. See, adjective class is one of the subordinate classes. Actually, why did I say here one of the adjective classes means, say under the subordinate classes are three types. Those are noun class, second one adjective class, third one is adverb class. So in our previous classes, right, we learned about the noun class. Okay, let us learn today about the adjective class. Okay, look at the screen. So an adjective class is a dependent class. So it is a dependent class, or right, like an adjective class modifies a noun or pronoun, answering the questions like which or what kind of. Which or what kind of, right? You have to think of all these questions, right? If you don't think of, not well. So the an answer of whether or what kind of, which or what kind of. Consider the following example. Say one example was given over there. The red coat is expensive. The red coat is expensive. So in the sentence, the red coat is expensive. Here the word red, red, the word itself, okay, the word red itself is an adjective. But instead of instead of the adjective red, in the place of red, so there is a it was used like this. The coat which I bought yesterday is expensive. So instead of telling the red coat, so here the sentence was explained like this. The coat which I bought yesterday is expensive. Actually, the coat is expensive. That is the sentence. But which I bought yesterday. Which I bought yesterday. So it's an embodied class. Right? So it is an embodied class. So this is in the embodied classes. We have to understand in the embedded classes. Right, in embedded classes, generally we learn in embedded classes. Right, so in embedded classes, generally, we use classes by using relative pronouns. Did you understand what it is? So, right, relative pronouns. How many of you have idea about the relative pronouns? Does anyone have idea regarding relative pronouns? So by using relative pronouns, yes, hi, very good morning. Right, by using relative pronouns we can make adjective clauses. So your relative clauses, most of the relative clauses are embodied clauses. Embodied clause means the clause which has been inserted in the middle of a sentence, in between the subject and predicate. Embodied clause ante oka sentence lo subject ki మధ్యలోని ఉపయోగించేటువంటి రైట్ రిలేటివ్ ప్రొనౌన్స్ ఉపయోగించి ఆ క్లాజెస్ని ఫ్రేమ్ చేస్తాం. సో వాట్ ఆర్ రిలేటివ్ ప్రొనౌన్స్? రిలేటివ్ ప్రొనౌన్స్ ఆర్ like we can say the first one, that, who, whom, which. Okay, so these five are relative pronouns. ఈ ఫైవ్ రిలేటివ్ ప్రొనౌన్స్ ఉపయోగించి మనం రిలేటివ్ క్లాజెస్ని ఫ్రేమ్ చేయగలుగుతాం. ఈ రిలేటివ్ క్లాజెస్ని మనం కొన్నిసార్లు ఎంబైడెడ్ క్లాజెస్గా ఉపయోగిస్తాము. రైట్, వెరీ గుడ్. ఓకే, సో రిలేటివ్ ప్రొనౌన్స్ ఆర్ నథింగ్ బట్ who, that, which, what, whom. Actually we mostly don't use what. Actually we use either who, whom. Right, whom. Right, have you all understood this? See there. So suppose if you see in here an example, see there. So like the word red in the first example, the dependent clause which I bought yesterday in the second example modifies noun coat. So in the first sentence, red coat. In the second sentence, the coat which I bought yesterday. So here in the first sentence, the word red, it describes or it modifies the noun coat. In the second sentence, which I bought yesterday, it modifies the subject, the coat. Right? So here in the first sentence, red as a word. In the second sentence, which I bought yesterday, it's a clause, but it functions as an adjective. Right, so in the description, if you look at this, either like the word red in the first example, the dependent clause which I bought yesterday in the second example modifies the noun coat. Note that an adjective clause usually comes after what it modifies, and this is very important part. So generally మనకి ఎప్పుడు కూడా adjective clause ఎప్పుడు వస్తుందంటే adjective clause దేన్నైతే మోడిఫై చేస్తుందో దాని తర్వాత, okay, after what it modifies. So if it modifies something, if it modifies a place, so the adjective clause has to be used after. Like we can say that Undi, which is a beautiful village, is my neighbor village. Like, సో మనం ఈ రిలేటివ్ క్లాజ్ని అంటే యాడ్జెక్టివ్ క్లాజ్ని ఎప్పుడూ కూడా దేని ద్వారా ఉపయోగిస్తామంటే సబ్జెక్ట్లో ఉన్నటువంటి యాంటీసిడెంట్ అన్నాను నేను, యాంటీసిడెంట్ దాన్ని లేదా సబ్జెక్ట్ ఆఫ్ ది సెంటెన్స్ అని చెప్పొచ్చు. దాని తర్వాత అంటే ఏ పార్ట్ని అయితే యాడ్జెక్టివ్ క్లాజ్ మాడిఫై చేస్తుందో, సో ఆ యాడ్జెక్టివ్ క్లాజ్ మనకి ఆ మాడిఫైర్ తర్వాత మనకి యాడ్జెక్టివ్ క్లాజ్ అనేది వస్తుంది. రైట్, వింటున్నారా అందరూ? ఆర్ యు ఆల్ లిసనింగ్? Right, say yes sir. If you are being with me, please put comment yes, make it fast. Okay, right, let us see the read. Okay, right, okay, let me tell you, let me go ahead. Okay, right, what is the second point? See the second point, let us see the second point. See, In formal writing, an adjective clause begins with relative pronouns. In generally in the formal writing. So formal. It's not formal, it's formal writing. In formal writing, adjective clause generally begins with relative pronouns. So what are relative pronouns means? It was given, see there, who, whom, whose, that, which. These 5 we generally say as a relative pronouns. Right, in formal writing or speech, you may leave out the relative pronouns when it is not the subject of adjective clause. But you should usually include the relative pronouns in formal academic writing. So just this point we have to understand. So if there is no subject to describe something by using relative clause, in that case we need not to use a relative pronoun. But actually in the formal writing it is quite common thing, right? Got my point, everybody? Okay, so these are the relative clause. Regarding relative clauses, some of the rules, right? relative clause అంటే సో ఒక యాడ్జెక్టివ్ పార్ట్ని లేదా యాడ్జెక్టివ్ రోల్ ప్లే చేసేటువంటి క్లాజ్నే మనం రిలేటివ్ క్లాజ్ అని చెప్తాం. ఫస్ట్ థింగ్. సెకండ్ థింగ్, రిలేటివ్ క్లాజెస్ అనేవి మనం రిలేటివ్ క్లాజెస్నే ఎంబైడెడ్ క్లాజెస్ కూడా అనొచ్చు. ఎందుకంటే ఇవి సెంటెన్స్లోని ఒక సెంటెన్స్ని, ఆ సెంటెన్స్లో ఉన్న సబ్జెక్ట్ని ప్రెడికేట్కి మధ్యలోని ఈ క్లాజ్ని మనం రిలేటివ్ ప్రొనౌన్స్ని ఉపయోగించి జాయిన్ చేస్తాం సెంటెన్స్ని. దానికి ఎగ్జాంపుల్ చెప్పాను కదా, మిస్టర్ బెహరా హూ డజంట్ నో ఇంగ్లీష్ టీచర్స్ ఇంగ్లీష్ అని చెప్పి ఆ సెంటెన్స్. సో అందులో మిస్టర్ బెహరా టీచర్స్ ఇంగ్లీష్. సో మిస్టర్ బెహరా ఇంగ్లీష్ చెప్తున్నాడు, కానీ హూ డజంట్ నో ఇంగ్లీష్, మిస్టర్ బెహరా అంటే అతనికి ఇంగ్లీష్ రాదు కానీ ఇంగ్లీష్ చెప్తాడు. అక్కడ మనం అతను సంబంధించి కొంత ఎడిషనల్ ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ని యాడ్ చేసాం. సో అలా ఎడిషనల్ ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ యాడ్ చేయడానికి ఉపయోగించే క్లాజెస్ మన రిలేటివ్ క్లాజెస్ చెప్పచ్చు, రైట్? అయితే రిలేటివ్ క్లాజెస్ని ఉపయోగించేటప్పుడు ఖచ్చితంగా ఆ రిలేటివ్ క్లాజ్ దాన్ని ఎంబైడెడ్ క్లాజ్ అని చెప్పాము. ఆ ఎంబైడెడ్ క్లాజ్ ఎప్పుడు కూడా ఎక్కడ ఉపయోగిస్తామంటే సెంటెన్స్లో సబ్జెక్ట్ తర్వాత, లేదా ఆ రిలేటివ్ క్లాజెస్ ఏ పార్ట్ని అయితే మాడిఫై చేస్తుందో ఆ మాడిఫై చేసిన పార్ట్ తర్వాత మనం రిలేటివ్ క్లాజ్ని ఉపయోగించాలి. ఈ విషయం అందరికీ అర్థమైంది ఎక్కువ వరకు, రైట్? ప్లీజ్ పుట్ కామెంట్ యాజ్ ఎస్ ఇఫ్ యూ అండర్స్టాండ్ దిస్, రైట్? If you understood well so far what did I say, just put comment as yes. Make it fast. Okay, right, see that. Let us see. Let the objective relative pronouns for people we use whom. Right, see that. You have to understand this point. Yes, very good. Yeah, Suresh, very nice. Nadampalli Suresh, very good morning. Yeah. Okay, right, see that. In formal academic English in adjective class with objective relative pronoun for people we use whom. సో ఇప్పుడు ఇక్కడ హూమ్ అనేది ఆబ్జెక్ట్ని బేస్ చేసుకున్నప్పుడు, అంటే మనం ఆబ్జెక్టివ్ కేసులో మనం మాట్లాడేటప్పుడు మనం ఇక్కడ ఇందాక చెప్పాను చూడండి, మిస్టర్ బెహరా హూ డజంట్ నో ఇంగ్లీష్ టీచర్స్ ఇంగ్లీష్ అని. అంటే ఇక్కడ మిస్టర్ బెహరా అనేది సబ్జెక్ట్ ప్లేస్లో ఉంది కాబట్టి మనం సబ్జెక్ట్ గురించి మాట్లాడుతున్నాం. అలా కాకుండా మనం అదే ఆబ్జెక్ట్ ప్లేస్లో ఉన్న సెంటెన్స్ గురించి మాట్లాడేటప్పుడు మనం హూమ్ అని ఉపయోగిస్తాం. సో ఇన్ అడ్జెక్టివ్ క్లాస్ విత్ ఆబ్జెక్ట్ ఆఫ్ ప్రిపోజిషన్ బ్రింగ్ ప్రిపోజిషన్ ఫార్వర్డ్ టు హూమ్. ఈ 3 పాయింట్లు బాగా గుర్తుండాలి. ఒకటి, మనం రిలేటివ్ క్లాజ్ని ఉపయోగించేటప్పుడు హూ అనే రిలేటివ్ క్లాజ్ని ఎప్పుడు ఉపయోగిస్తామంటే మనం యాంటిసిడెంట్ సబ్జెక్ట్ అయితే లేదా మాడిఫైయర్ పార్ట్ సబ్జెక్ట్ ప్లేస్లో ఉంటే దాన్ని మనం హూతో ఉపయోగిస్తాం. కానీ మనం ఉపయోగించేటువంటి ఎంబైడెడ్ క్లాజు లేదా రిలేటివ్ క్లాజు మనం ఆబ్జెక్ట్ డేటా యాడ్ చేస్తే, ఆబ్జెక్ట్కి సంబంధించిన డేటా యాడ్ చేసామనుకోండి, సో అప్పుడు మనం హూమ్ అనేది ఉపయోగించి క్వశ్చన్ చేస్తాం. అది హూమ్ అనేది ఉపయోగించి రిలేటివ్ క్లాజ్ని ఫ్రేమ్ చేసి దాన్ని ఎంబైడెడ్ చేస్తాం, రైట్? ఇక్కడివరకు అర్థమైందా? రైట్. థర్డ్ పార్ట్ చూడండి, ఇన్ యాడ్జెక్టివ్ క్లాస్ విత్ అన్ ఆబ్జెక్ట్ ఆఫ్ ప్రిపోజిషన్. ఇక్కడ ఈ పాయింట్ గుర్తుంచుకోవాలి. నేను ఎందుకు ఇక్కడ ఇంత స్ట్రెస్ ఇస్తున్నానంటే ఇక్కడ జస్ట్ ఇక్కడ సమ్ వాట్ డిఫరెన్స్ మీనింగ్ ఉంది ఇక్కడ, ఆ మీనింగ్ కోసం మీకు ఇవ్వటం డిఫరెన్స్. రైట్, చూడండి. విత్ అన్ ఆబ్జెక్ట్ ఆఫ్ ప్రిపోజిషన్, with an object of preposition, right? Bring the preposition forward to the whom or whose, which. అంటే మనం ఆబ్జెక్టివ్ ప్రొనౌన్ మనకి ఎప్పుడైనా సరే మనం ఉపయోగించేటువంటి ఆబ్జెక్టు అది ప్రిపోజిషన్ ఆఫ్ ఆబ్జెక్ట్. ప్రిపోజిషన్ ఆఫ్ ఆబ్జెక్ట్ నుంచి ఐడియా ఉందా? ప్రిపోజిషన్ ఆఫ్ మనం ఆబ్జెక్టు సబ్జెక్ట్ అని చెప్పి నౌన్ క్లాజెస్లో చూసుకున్నాం. నౌన్ క్లాజెస్ గురించి వచ్చేటప్పుడు డిస్కస్ చేసాం, రైట్? అలాగే మనకి ప్రిపోజిషన్ ఆఫ్ ఆబ్జెక్ట్ని దాన్ని మనం క్వాలిఫై చేయడానికో లేకపోతే డిఫైన్ చేయడానికి ఒక రిలేటివ్ క్లాజ్ని ఉపయోగించాల్సి వచ్చింది అనుకోండి. ఆ ప్రిపోజిషన్ ఏదైతే ఉందో దాన్ని ఈ రిలేటివ్ క్లాజెస్ ముందు ఆ ప్రిపోజిషన్ ఉపయోగించాలి. అందు గురించే దాన్ని మనం బై హూమ్ అంటాం. బై హూమ్, ఫర్ విచ్, లేదా బై విచ్, ఆన్ విచ్, ఇన్ విచ్ అంటాం. సో ఇక్కడ విచ్, ఆన్ విచ్, ఫర్ విచ్, సో దీని క్లాస్ ఉంటుంది. సో మనం జనరల్లీ లాంగ్వేజెస్ ఉపయోగించేటప్పుడు ఇన్ విచ్, బై విచ్ అనే సెంటెన్సెస్ యూసేజ్ అనేది చాలా ఎక్కువగా యూజ్ చేస్తూ ఉంటారు. అయితే వాటికి ప్రతిదానికి ఒక డిఫరెంట్ పర్పస్ ఉన్నప్పుడు మాత్రం ఉపయోగించాల్సి వస్తుంది. సో దాన్ని మనం ఒకరోజు స్పెషల్ క్లాస్లో చెప్తున్న క్లాస్ అర్థమవుతుందంటే ఎస్ అనే కామెంట్ పెడితే అదరికి మూవ్ అవుదాం. రైట్, వెరీ గుడ్. అర్థమవుతుందా? రైట్, ఐ గేవ్ ఎ స్లైడ్ గ్యాప్. So formal and informal parts. See the formal part. The book that people read were mainly religious. The book that people read were mainly religious. The people, so it was either the books that people read were mainly religious. యూజ్ చేసేటువంటి క్లాజెస్ ఏవైతే ఉన్నాయో అది మనం ఫార్మల్ రైటింగ్లోనే యూజ్ చేస్తాం. ఫార్మల్ రైటింగ్ పార్ట్లో వచ్చేటప్పుడు మనం యూజ్ చేస్తాం. సో దాన్ని ఇన్ఫార్మల్గా ఎలా ఉపయోగించవచ్చు చూడండి, దాని పక్కనే ఉంది మీకు. వచ్చేటప్పుడు మనం ఈ రిలేటివ్ ప్రొనౌన్స్ని మనం స్కిప్ చేసి కూడా చెప్పవచ్చు. కానీ మనం కరెక్ట్ రైటింగ్ పార్ట్లో వచ్చేటప్పటికి మనం ఖచ్చితంగా రిలేటివ్ క్లాజెస్ని చెప్పేటప్పుడు ఫార్మల్ రైటింగ్ వచ్చేటప్పుడు ఖచ్చితంగా రిలేటివ్స్ ప్రొనౌన్స్ని ఉపయోగించే క్లాజెస్ని మెన్షన్ చేయాలి. అంటే the books are mainly religious. Actually, that is the example. But it was embodied some additional information. The books that people read were mainly religious. Okay? And the second one is right, okay. Right, manchi question adigamma. So do we have to use commas or not? Right, I'll tell you that. So regarding do we have to use commas or parentheses or brackets just before and after of embodied class. Embodied క్లాస్కి ముందు వెనక మనం కామాస్, పారెంథీస్ లేదా హైఫన్ లేదా అండర్స్కోర్ అనేది ఉపయోగించాలా ఉపయోగించకూడదు అనేది అది మనకి డేటాను బట్టి మనం ఫైల్ చేసేటువంటి డేటాను బట్టి ఉంటుంది. అది ఆ డేటాను బట్టి మనకు ఉంటుంది. రైట్, సో మనం అది ఉపయోగించే డేటాను బట్టి ఉంటుంది. దానికి మనకి డిఫైనింగ్ అండ్ నాన్ డిఫైనింగ్ రిలేటివ్ క్లాజెస్ అని చెప్పి దీని తర్వాత కంటిన్యూలో డిస్కస్ చేస్తాను. దీంట్లోనే వస్తుంది, అది టాపిక్ వస్తుంది. అంటే ఈ రిలేటివ్లే ఈ వీటిలోనే డిఫైన్ అండ్ నాన్ డిఫైన్ రిలేటివ్ క్లాస్ సో ఫార్మల్ అకాడమిక్ అండ్ యాక్సెప్టబుల్ అండ్ నాట్ యాక్సెప్టబుల్. Jack London, whom I admire, wrote a lots of short stories. Actually here whom I admire అనే సెంటెన్స్ తీసేసాం అనుకోండి, మనం ఆ పార్ట్ని ఆ క్లాస్ని తీసేసాం అనుకోండి. సో రెస్ట్ ఆఫ్ సెంటెన్స్ ఉండే wrote a lots of అని ఉంటుంది. సో మనకి అక్కడ యాక్సెప్టబుల్ సెంటెన్సెస్, నాట్ యాక్సెప్టబుల్ సెంటెన్స్ చూడండి. యాక్సెప్టబుల్ సెంటెన్సెస్, నాట్ యాక్సెప్టబుల్ సెంటెన్స్లో చూడండి. జాక్ లండన్ whom I admire wrote lot of short stories. So now you are talking about, see, whom I admire means, so now you are the subject. Actually now you are talking about the other person, object. So that is why here whom as a relative pronoun it was used. Right? Clear all of you? సో అర్థమవుతుందా ఈరోజు క్లాసు ఎదరికి వెళ్ళిపోతుందా? సో దానికోసం అవసరమైతే మనం బ్యాక్ వెళ్దాం, బట్ క్లియర్గా అర్థమయ్యేలా మనం నేర్చుకుంటే ప్రయత్నం చేసే అవకాశం ఉంటుంది. కాబట్టి మన స్లోగా వర్క్ చేద్దాం. సో మీరు అందరూ ఇవాళ ప్యాసివ్గానే ఉన్నారు. ఎస్ అని కామెంట్ పెట్టమన్నా కూడా పెట్టట్లేదు. సో మీకు అర్థమవుతుందని నాకు అర్థమవుతుంది. మీరు ఎస్ అని కామెంట్ పెడితే సో మీరు నా మాట మీరు ఏదైతే మాట్లాడుతున్నా అది మీకు అర్థమవుతుందని నాకు తెలుస్తుంది. రైట్? ఓకే, రైట్, వెరీ గుడ్. ఓన్లీ వన్ ఎస్ ఓన్లీ అంటే ఒక్కలేనా యాక్టివ్ లెర్నర్స్, మిగతాలందరూ ప్యాసివ్ లెర్నర్సా? రైట్, ఆల్ ఆఫ్ యూ కీప్ యాజ్ అ కామెంట్, మేక్ ఇట్. Right? Did you understand? Yes, okay, very good. Still has to come. Okay, I'd like to show you some more examples with regard to adjective class. The meat which they ate was tasty. Actually, the meat was tasty. Actually, that is the example. But this sentence was written with an embodied class. So sentence lo the meat was tasty. The meat was tasty. The meat ane subject was tasty అనేది predicate ki subject మనం which they ate sentence ambiguous చూడండి. Here are some examples of adjective class. First చూసారు. రెండో చూడండి. A clause modifies the noun meat and answer the question which meat. సో విచ్ మీట్ అనే వర్డ్కి అనే దానికి కరెక్ట్ ఆన్సర్ ఇస్తుంది కాబట్టి మనకి. ఓకే, రైట్. సో మీట్ అనే వర్డ్ సెంటెన్స్ అనే క్వశ్చన్కి మనం క్వశ్చన్ చేస్తే సెంటెన్స్ మనకి ఆన్సర్ వస్తుంది. రైట్, మూడో చూడండి. ద క్లాజ్ మాడిఫైస్ ద నౌన్ మూవీ. సో ఎగ్జాంపుల్, సెకండ్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ చూడండి. దే టాక్డ్ అబౌట్ ద మూవీ విచ్ మేడ్ హిమ్ క్రై. They talked about the movie which made him cry. ఇక్కడ హోము విచ్ అనేది మనం ఎప్పుడు కూడా ఆబ్జెక్టివ్ కేసులో ఉపయోగించాలి. అంటే మన ఆబ్జెక్టివ్ కోసం అడిషనల్ ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ యాడ్ చేయాల్సి వచ్చేటప్పుడు సెంటెన్స్లో ఆబ్జెక్టివ్ సంబంధించి అడిషనల్ ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ యాడ్ చేస్తున్నాం అనుకోండి, అప్పుడు మనం హోమ్ విచ్ను ఉపయోగించి సెంటెన్స్ చెప్పాలి. ఇక్కడ కూడా చూడండి. దే టాక్డ్ అబౌట్ ద మూవీ. ఇక్కడ మూవీ అనేది ఆబ్జెక్టివ్. ఇక్కడ right, the class. The next third example, see there, they are searching for the one who borrowed the book. They are searching for the one who borrowed the book. They are searching for the one who borrowed the book. So in this sentence, see there, the class modifies the which place, which one, which meet, which. Since we have to add this additional information of point. Okay, next, see the next example. See that did I tell you about the author whom I met? Did I tell you about the author whom I met? So in this sentence, whom I met, see that if you take an example, whom I met, author is an object. Regarding author whom I met, it's an additional information. So this additional information was introduced by using by one of the relative pronoun. Right, see that. By using this one of the relative pronouns, we can introduce the object, the author. So therefore, whom I met. So here it's an answer of which author. It's an answer of which author. Right, it modifies the noun. Right, author. So in this way we can use relative clauses. Very nice. Okay, so let us see that. So now Arfa asked me a question, sir, can we use commas on those? So now we see that we will get it the details. So identifying say or non-identifying adjective clauses. So identifying or nothing but defining or not defining. Or we use adjective చెప్పండి చాట్ బాక్స్లో, రైట్? సెంటెన్స్లో యాడ్జెక్టివ్ క్లాజెస్ అనేవి మనం ఎందుకు ఉపయోగించాలి? సో యాడ్జెక్టివ్ క్లాజెస్ని ఉపయోగించి మనం సెంటెన్స్లో ఏం చేయగలమంటే, ఒక సెంటెన్స్లో ఈదర్ సబ్జెక్ట్ కోసం కానీ ఆబ్జెక్ట్ కానీ క్లాజెస్ని ఉపయోగించి మనం యాడ్ చేసేటువంటి ఎడిషనల్ ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్, అది ఎక్స్ట్రా ఇన్ఫర్మేషనా? Question answer, is it an additional or is it additional information or essential information? So see that essential is different, extra information is different, right? So what is essential, what is, as you are willing your hunger, if you prefer to go for a restaurant, so actually that is not essential, that is an extra, right? As you are trying to satisfy your hunger, whatever that you get it, if you take, that's a essential, right? essential కి ఎక్స్ట్రాకి ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ ఐడియా వచ్చిందా, రైట్? ముందు మనం ఒక సెంటెన్స్లోని ఇప్పుడు మనం అడిగారు, ఇక్కడ అడిగిన క్వశ్చన్ ప్రకారం, సార్ మనం యాడ్జెక్టివ్ క్లాజెస్కి ముందు మనం కామర్స్ ఉపయోగించాలా లేదా అనేది దీన్ని బట్టి ఇక్కడ ఉంటుంది. చూడండి, ఒకవేళ ఆ ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ ఎసెన్షియల్ అనుకోండి, ఎసెన్షియల్ అయిపోతే దాన్ని డిఫైనింగ్ లేదా రెస్ట్రిక్టివ్ రిలేటివ్ క్లాజ్ అంటాం. డిఫైనింగ్ రిలేటివ్ క్లాజ్ ఆర్ రెస్ట్రిక్టివ్ రిలేటివ్ క్లాజ్ అంటాం. వీ డు నాట్ యూజ్ కామర్స్ విత్ దీస్ క్లాజెస్. ఆ ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ ఎసెన్షియల్ అయితే, ఆ ఇన్ఫర్మేషను ఎసెన్షియల్ అయితే, సపోజ్ చూడండి, ఇంత మనం ఫస్ట్ ఒక ఎగ్జాంపుల్ చూసాం, మిస్టర్ బెహరా హూ డజంట్ నో ఇంగ్లీష్ టీచర్స్ ఇంగ్లీష్. మిస్టర్ బెహరా టీచర్స్ ఇంగ్లీష్, అది సెంటెన్స్. కానీ హూ డజంట్ నో ఇంగ్లీష్ అనేది ఎసెన్షియల్ ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్, ఎక్స్ట్రా ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ అది? ఎవరు రెస్పాండ్ అవ్వట్లేదు. ఈజ్ ఇట్ ఎక్స్ట్రా ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ ఆర్ ఎసెన్షియల్ ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్? ఈజ్ మై వాయిస్ క్లియర్? ఈజ్ మై వాయిస్ క్లియర్? Is it extra information or essential information? Is my voice clear? Is my voice clear? Okay. Right, let us see. You people are not responding, but I'll go ahead. Tanush, what? No, man. My voice is not audible to you? Yeah. Okay, right, very good. Only from your side only I'm getting a reply. From other sides there is no reply for, right? So that is what, see that as you people are learning regularly, I think your people are getting bored. That is why I left in the middle of 2 days. Okay, right. Right, if it is an essential information, we need not use any of the punctuation marks in the before and after of embodied class, right? Okay, right. Then we use a non-restrictive or non-defined to provide additional information of the sentence. So when we add it by using one of the relative, so if it is an using any punctuation mark, whereas if it is an extra information, the extra information has to be provided as a embedded class by using punctuation marks before and after class. So then you people would understand, right? See there, this one. Okay. Sorry, right? See there, right? Got my point, everybody? Very good. So that is what the sentence was used like this: Mr. Behara, comma, who doesn't know English, comma, teaches English. So as who doesn't know English is an extra information, it was separated by commas, right? Very good. Now I think you people would understand, right? Okay, right. See that. Once again just let me recall. What is a class? Class is a combination of a subject and predicate. First part, that is. Then next, what is a predicate? Means nothing but a part of verb. A part of verb. In another words, how can we find a subject or a predicate in a sentence? Means the subject, except subject, the rest of part we call it as a object. Except the subject, the extra part we call it as a predicate. It is the combination of both verb and object. So that is first thing. Second thing, right? If we look at the second thing, right, we can go ahead like this. Okay, and next one, classes are two kinds. One is main class and second one is subordinate class. Or else we can say that independent class and dependent class. So independent class means a class which has a subject and a predicate, and the sentence itself can provide a piece of information. It doesn't depend on any sentence to provide the information. So such kind of sentences or such kind of clauses we may call as a independent clause. Whereas some clauses, a clause which has been used by using one of the subordinate conjunctions, because it has completely depend to provide a piece of information, but even it can provide a piece of information, but it can provide piece of information by depending on some another thing permanently, like that. So therefore we say that clause is dependent class. Dependent classes are three types. They are noun class, and the second one adjective class, third one is adverbial class. Noun class, we learned about the noun class. So noun class means nothing but, right, a class which functions as a noun. Okay, it may be used in the place of subject, it may be used as a in the place of object, or it may be used as a preposition of the object. So regarding that, even we have done excellent exercise with regard to noun phrases. And in this class we have learned about the adjective class. Adjective class means nothing but, that is also a class, but which functions as an adjective. So it might be, see, mostly adjective clauses are used as a embedded clauses. Embedded clauses means it is adjusted in the middle of a sentence between subject and predicate by using one of the relative pronouns. So what are the relative pronouns? We have learned who, whom, which, whose, that. So by using these whom and which, so we have to see that whom and which we have to use when we are modifying by using an embedded class about the object. So we have to use and that we use that and which also we use to indicate a place, and we use who as a relative pronoun to introduce or to modify the subject of a sentence, right? This is so far we have learned all these things, right? Things to remember. చూడండి, మనకి వెదర్ ఇట్ ఈస్ అప్పుడు మనం ఏ విషయాలను మనం గుర్తుంచుకోవాలి. ఇక్కడ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ చూడండి, మై సిస్టర్ హూ లివ్స్ ఇన్ బెల్ ఎయిర్ హ్యాస్ 3 children. చూడండి, ఇక్కడ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ చూస్తే మనకి ఐడియా వస్తుంది, 3 children. సో రెండు సెంటెన్సెస్లో కూడా మనకి సేమ్ సెంటెన్సెస్, బట్ ఫస్ట్ సెంటెన్స్లో ఇక్కడ హూ లివ్స్ ఇన్ బెల్ ఎయిర్, ఇట్స్ ఎ రిలేటివ్ క్లాస్, బట్ దిస్ రిలేటివ్ క్లాస్ వాజ్ సెపరేటెడ్, and this relative class is used before and after by using commas. So if we use commas, it's an extra information. If we don't use commas, it is essential information, called defining relative clause or restrictive relative clauses. But extra information providers, we call them as a non-restrictive or non-defining relative clauses. Now did you understand? Is first sentence restrictive relative class or is second sentence restrictive relative class? మీకు ఇది ఐడియా వచ్చిందా? సో అగైన్ మళ్ళీ మనకి యాడ్జెక్టివ్ క్లాజెస్ కూడా మళ్ళీ దాని యొక్క ఫంక్షన్ బట్టి, దాని యొక్క ఫంక్షనింగ్ని బట్టి, లేదా అది ప్లే చేసేటువంటి రోల్ టైప్స్ టు నాన్ డిఫైనింగ్, వీటిని మనం డిఫైనింగ్ అండ్ నాన్ డిఫైనింగ్ రిలేషన్. So very good. And then, is it restrictive? What is the restrictive sentence? restrict to relative class. First sentence or second sentence? So as you told, the first sentence is the first sentence contains additional information. So additional information providers, a sentence which a clause which provides additional information with regard to the modifier, then we call them as non-restrictive. And for the first one is non-restrictive. Therefore, the second one is restrictive relative class. Very good. Okay, clear all of you? In which sentence? So in the first sentence, my sister who lives in Belvedere. So here he was talking about the sister who was living in Belvedere, has 3 children. That means besides her, he has some other sisters. But in the second sentence, my sister who lives in Belvedere has 3 children means he does not have sisters. He has only one sister. He is talking about the sister, so that the second sentence tells me that I have more than one sister. Right? See, I have more than one sister in the first. So I am giving extra information about my sister. It is clear from the use of commas, which demonstrate giving extra my sister. So did you understand up to here? Clear all of you? Right, see, he is the man who works at the grocery store. So suppose if you take this example, he is the man who works at the grocery store. So see there, identify the information. See, he is the man who works at the grocery store. So who works at the grocery store? It's a adjective class. But is this providing additional information or essential information with regard to man? Think about it as 2 sentences. He is a man. He works at the grocery store. So without the second sentence, you couldn't identify him. He is a man. He is a man means who is the man? You don't know. But he is the man who works at the grocery store. So here the grocery store, who works at the grocery store, it is an essential information. So essential information. So the sentence which provide essential information, we call it as a defining relative class or restrictive relative class. Clear all of you? So this is one of the important topics of class 10. Right? When it comes to the first lessons, we are going to learn about all these things. Right? Very good. Okay. So I think you people understood very well from indefinite to definite class because of the identification. So see that he stood at the grocery store. Right, in the sentence, so he is a man. Actually, he is a man and who works at the grocery. Now here A become the in the first sentence. So if you see, he is the man. So here if we use A, it is defining or non-defining. So in the articles part we learned definite or indefinite. So it is a indefinite one. But we are by providing this additional information, we are defining the particular person. So that is why A has been changed as a the. Yes, from indefinite to definite because of the identification. So think about if a listener or reader would be able to identify a noun without the adjective class. Right? Are you all getting my point today? Okay? Right, I think today is somewhat difficult one class today, right? Is it somewhat difficult one today? It's not difficult one, but we have to learn. See, we must have good knowledge over the classes part. So if we have good knowledge over the classes part, that is why. So just my inner core attention is attending. So insisting, so just demand or as well as see the. No, okay, for you it's not difficult, but all other people are feeling very difficult one. That is why when see the Anshita, they are not at all responding. Okay? Yes, even responding. Now and then they are responding. So Kalyani is responded, but whereas Anshita, I think she got scared of it and I think she would have left the class. Alright? Okay, very good. Okay, next see the next example. See there. Is it clear on the screen? Maria. So there is an example. See there. Maria, who works as a physician's assistant, enjoys her job. Maria, see there, who works as a physician's assistant, enjoys. It's an extra information. I told here directly it's an extra information. Is it correct? Is it extra information? Essential information? Very good, very good, very good. That is what, man. You people are really awesome. You people are really awesome, man. Awesome. Yeah, very nice. Okay, who works as a physician's assistant? Now, by seeing this sentence, can you say, is it extra information or essential information? Yes, it's an extra information. How could you say? By using the punctuation marks. So, comma, sometimes you use directly hyphen. Something good, very good. Okay, you people told it's an extra information, but how? How did extra information so? Did you find it's extra information so? That is my question. So how did you find out? It's by using or right way. Okay, right. Since as a two sentences, one is Maria enjoys her job. Maria works as a physician assistant. Right. So there are two sentences actually. In those two sentences, we have to go through the sentences. Then we will understand. Right. Very good. So next, see the you know her name from the first sentence, and this is enough to identify her. Small. So now you are bound. Now see that out of the first three sentences, which sentence is the correct? He talked to a man who had a big dog. He talked to a man what had a big dog. He talked to a man had a big dog. What is the correct sentence out of these three? First question చూడండి. ఈ త్రీ సెంటెన్సెస్లో కరెక్ట్ ఆన్సర్ ఏది? యా వెరీ గుడ్, వెరీ గుడ్. ఓకే, he talked to a man who had. Yes, very good. So then okay, why second and third sentences were wrong? Third sentence, it was used either in an informal way. He talked to a man had a big dog. That's informal. It's not even correct. Construction wise, it's a not correct one. Okay, the second thing. And why the second sentence is wrong means he talked to a man what had. That's a not suitable relative pronoun. So here the relative pronouns which we use, right? So this is the correct answer. So first one is the correct answer, right? Clear everybody? Okay. Right. Okay. Let us see second example. I would like to show you. Right. Just you have to recall so far what have you learned. Okay. What are the things that we have learned? Just we have to go through the sentences and we will try to learn it. Okay. Right. Let us see the second. Okay. Is the correct? The teacher, her students wrote the letters. The teacher, her students wrote the letters is my friend. The teacher whose student wrote the letter is my friend. What is the correct sentence for this? What is the correct sentence out of these three sentences? Okay. Yeah. One or three. Okay. Okay. First sentence is three. Okay. Two is three, right? The teacher whose students wrote the letters is my friend. The teacher whose students wrote the letters is my friends. So, are you all clear at this sentence? Okay. Next, let us see the third question. He thanked the man who he talked to him. He thanked the man he talked to. He thanked the man which he talked to. Yeah, so this sentence, the third sentence, somewhat difficult one. I mean, it's not difficult, it's somewhat a tricky one. Right, you have to go through, so here see that. You have to go through the sentence in the relative clauses, so which I'm underlining. You have to see here. Whom he talked to. Sentences, going through these sentences by going. Okay, he thanked the man who he talked to. He thanked the man he talked to, and he thanked the man which he talked to. Answer is second one. Here, out of these three sentences, second one is the correct answer because he thanked the man he talked to. So it's an informal writing. So actually, whom he talked to, that is the correct sentence. But here the whom was word. The word was not used. So in the informal writing, we may not use the relative pronoun. So then we have to consider this sentence has been given as an informal one. Therefore, second one is the correct answer. Okay. Clear everyone? Okay, right, let us see the next one. So the car which he bought last week is very nice. The car he bought last week is very nice. The car that he bought last week, it is very nice. Okay. Will you say what is the correct sentence? Out of these, what is the correct sentence will you say? The car which he bought last week is very nice. That means the car is very nice. The car he bought last week is very nice. The car that he bought last week, it is very nice. For this, what is the correct answer? Correct answer. So for this, see the correct answer is the first one actually. The first one is the correct answer. Right? So the car which he bought. Actually we have to consider the third sentence also a right sentence because but in the third sentence there is a mistake. See the last week it is very nice. See, I have underlined the sentence. The underlined sentence, if we look at the sentence, the underlined sentence. So by the underlined sentence there lies a mistake. See the underlined part now. I have underlined last week it is very nice. The car that he bought is very nice. We have to say that it is not. Right, okay. Next see, let us see the next sentence. Let us see. Sentence see there. Does your friend who works at the supermarket get a day off on Tuesday? Does your friend who works at the supermarket gets a day off on Tuesday? Which is the correct sentence? Get a day off who works at the supermarket. Right, you have to think of these three sentences together like this. Fifth question answer. Will you answer fifth question answer? So see that. Does your friend who works at the supermarket get a day off on Tuesday? Does your friend who works at the supermarket gets a day off on Tuesday? Does your friend gets a day off who works at the supermarket? Out of these three sentences, which sentence is the correct? Is it first one? No, it's not first one. Does your friend who works at the supermarket? Yes. Okay, correct. Yes, very good. First sentence. So, what is the wrong? Comparing with the other parts means So actually here we have to think of like this. Yes, the sentence starts with does. Okay, and who works in the supermarket? Okay, it's a relative class, and from here get a day off. So does your friend get a day off on Tuesday? That's a question actually. Okay, right, very good. First one is the correct answer. Okay, so first one is the correct answer with regard to this one. Yeah, okay, does plus v1, very nice. Okay, right, let us see. So after, yes, okay, but do you have gets? Okay, right, are you all following chart box? So in the chart box, see the why the sentences, the rest of sentences became wrong also, it was given explanation. Okay, let us see the sixth example. The book that bought John is on the table over there. The book that is on the table over there, John bought. Now out of these three sentences, sixth question, we are talking about the what is the correct, why it's a correct answer, why it is not a correct answer. The book that John bought is right. The book, that's it, correct. Yeah, first one is the correct one. So when it comes to, okay, right, the seventh one, see there on the screen only, seventh question is there. Which sentence is the correct? What street does the man who lost his wallet live? Wallet live. What street does the man lost his wallet live? What street does the man who lost his wallet? Seventh question answer. Will you say seventh question answer? Seventh one. If you go through the seventh question, let's see that after today. Okay, right. See that I'll show you its answers. One. What street does the man who lost his wallet live on? Yes, very good. Correct answer. So seventh question is the eighth answer. Right. So and the next one is the eighth sentence. Which sentence is the correct? In this sentence part, see in the eighth sentence, what does the student who left his lunchbox desk look like? What does it look like who is lunch on the desk? Out of these three sentences, which sentence is the correct one? Okay. Okay, right. So very nice of you. I would like to about the adverbial clauses. So adverbial clauses are somewhat tricky one and lengthiest one, right? So it is going to be somewhat lengthiest one. So just I request you to come to class without fail, as well as not only you, just make someone to attend the classes, right? I hope this was very informative and useful class. Wish you all the best of luck, all the dear students. Okay, right, shall we wind up? Right, tell me how many of you have learned today adjective clauses well? I think it's very productive one. Okay, because so far we don't know, just we read, we went through a number of sentences, number of paragraph, number of stories. We read them, but we never ever bothered about what kind of clauses it was used in a sentence formation, right? As we did not do like that, we did not understand the language well. But if we right, thank you. So if we go alike, or if we go for analyzing a sentence while learning then as a result, by going through the sentences, our comprehension levels will be increased, okay, day by day. So gradual increase we expect if we have good knowledge over this, right? So thank you all. I hope you would join my next live session.